Hello, welcome to Goodnight Flagstaff. I'm Tammy Rauschenbach, English as a second language teacher at Mount Eldon Middle School, and I'm participating in the Goodnight Flagstaff program as a regular reader, but tonight I've got members of the Hall Merritt family from Tucson helping me out, so you'll have a few extra voices. Thank you for tuning in to our community story time. You can find a new chapter from one of our favorite family-friendly books at 8 p.m. each weeknight on the Literacy Center's YouTube channel and on Crater Radio, a local online station. The previous chapter is replayed on Crater Radio each weeknight at about 7:45, just before the new chapter airs. You can also listen to all previous Goodnight Flagstaff recordings on YouTube. We are currently reading Race to the Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse. If you'd like to check it out to read along with us at home, it is available in the Hoopla app with your Coconino County Library card. Check one out today. Please email us if you'd like to join our team of readers and connect with your community through stories. All ages welcome. Our email is goodnightflagstaff@gmail.com. Last time we read together, Nizhoni woke up before the sun even rose. They had to eat breakfast on the way to the Rainbow Road or they were going to miss it. In fact, as they walked along the road, it began to disappear behind them. Nizhoni was running so fast, she ran right off a cliff. Chapter 29, Rock Concert. Luckily, the cliff drops off to a small muddy hill, which I slide down on my heels like I'm skiing. I skid to a stop at the bottom and try to stay upright, but the ground is so slippery, I end up sitting in a puddle.
Are you hurt?
Davery asks as he scrambles down to join me.
Oh!
I exclaim.
My butt!
Davery giggles, and I guess it is pretty funny, but it also hurts.
I landed on my tailbone.
Good thing the mud cushioned your fall, or it could have been worse.
He puts out a hand to pull me up. Once I'm on my feet, I try to wipe mud from the back of my pants. It comes off thick and red in my hands. Seems like the humiliations never end.
I can't believe the Rainbow Road led us off the side of a cliff.
Speaking of rainbows, where did the road go?
Mac asks as he climbs down. We all look around and, yep, there's no more road to be seen. I groan in disappointment. We went to all that trouble to find it and we've already lost it?
There!
Davery says, pointing across the gorge. Squinting, I think I can just barely see glowing colors on the far side, picking up again on the top of the hill like the one we just slid down. It's as if the road used to be connected, but these two hills were pulled apart, the space between them forming the valley we're in now, which is divided by a wide rushing river. We have to get across, but how?
I guess we should take that,
Davery says, pointing at a dry, narrow path that winds between two tall rock walls about 20 yards away. The early morning sunlight hasn't risen over the walls yet, and the trail looks dark and creepy, but it's the only way through.
It's not part of the Rainbow Road.
I point out.
And Spider-Woman warned us we could get lost if we...
What's that noise?
Mac asks, sounding scared. An eerie sound is coming from the dark path, sort of like a low moan. I shudder as chills run up and down my spine.
Is that a ghost?
Mac whispers.
I hate ghosts.
No,
says Davery.
When wind blows through the narrow canyon, it can sound like a supernatural phenomenon, but it's really quite natural.
Promise?
Mac asks as the groaning picks up. It sounds like wind blowing through a narrow canyon, sure, but it also sounds like a dozen voices in some kind of awful pain. A pain way worse than what my butt is feeling right now. Davery blinks.
I guess I can't exactly promise.
I try to peer into the corridor, but I can't see a thing. It's darker between the walls than it was back at Spider-Woman's before the sun came up.
I vote ghosts, then.
Mac says.
And that means we need to find another way to get to the road.
There is none.
I say.
Unless we want to try climbing back up that slippery hill and going the long way around. It could take hours. Hours we don't have.
Another moan emanates from the valley path, and this time I swear it's saying something.
Is it saying...
I think that's a voice.
I say.
Is it saying, "This way, children"?
Davery asks. I hear it too.
This way.
Well,
Mac says, throwing up his hands.
definitely haunted.
Or,
Davery says.
remember the song, The Talking Rocks? Well, these rocks are talking.
Yeah,
Mac says.
and they're saying, run away, we're haunted.
No, I think we're meant to go through them. I think this is the first trial.
Of course, the first trial would have to involve a haunted canyon. Why couldn't it just be a math test or something? I'd rather try to divide fractions than fight ghosts, and I really, really hate fractions.
Okay, then.
I say, squaring my shoulders.
Let's do it. But everyone stay close together.
I wish Mr. Yazzie were here.
Mac says mournfully.
He would have known what to do.
Davery pats Mac's shoulders.
Yeah, he,
There he is!
Mac shouts. And miraculously, there's a horned toad sitting right at the entrance to the corridor.
Hurry, little heroes.
He shouts, waving us forward.
The path is only open for a few more minutes. You must get through before it closes.
But how, Mr. Yazzie? How did he get here?
Davery asks, a puzzled look on his face.
Last we saw him, he was...
Who cares how he got here?
Mac says.
Let's go!
And just like that, he takes off. It is really strange. The lizard couldn't have gotten here first, could he? And there's another thing.
Where's his sweater?
I ask. Mac is almost to Mr. Yazzie when Davery exclaims,
The song!
What about it?
Beware, beware the friendly toad. We skipped that part because I didn't know what it really meant.
I'd totally forgotten, but the meaning seems pretty clear now.
It's a trap.
Mac!
We both shout, running after my little brother.
Hurry, children.
The fake Mr. Yazzie says.
This way, right through here. You're almost there.
And as he turns to wave Mac forward, I can see his eyes. They're red, just like the fake Adrian Cuttlebushes at the train station and the buzzard bozos at Black Mountain, which means monster!
No, Max, stop. That's not really Mr. Yazzie.
But he's not listening, and as the horned toad scuttles down the path and disappears into the dark, Mac follows him. The canyon rumbles. The whole ground shakes like we're having an earthquake. Debris showers down as the rock walls start to move. I rub my eyes. Move? That's impossible. Davery skids to a stop and grabs my arm.
Are you seeing what I'm seeing?
The canyon walls are moving closer together, aren't they?
Yes. And if we don't get Mac out,
Davery says.
they're going to squish him like a grape.
We have to follow him.
And then we'll get squished like grapes. No, there has to be another way.
Did the song have any ideas about how to win the trials?
Davery purses his lips, thinking.
To defeat the trial, you must know you.
How am I supposed to know myself? I mean, I already do. That makes no sense, and it's entirely unhelpful.
I look around the valley, feeling frantic, searching for something we could use to get Mac back. There's a pile of stones nearby, a few scrubby plants growing in the sandy wash, and a small grove of cottonwood trees. Rocks, mud, and trees. That's all there is. And then I have an idea. I run over to a cottonwood. I jump up and grab onto a long branch that's sticking out at about eye level. I haul myself up like I'm doing a pull-up in gym class and then let my weight drop. The branch wobbles and starts to crack. I do it again. Up, then drop. And the crack gets bigger. On the third try, when I come down, the branch breaks off. I land on my feet, now holding a branch longer than I am. I rush back over to Davery.
That was really impressive.
He says.
You're strong.
For a girl.
I say sarcastically.
No, for anyone. It was cool.
I hadn't really thought about it, but I guess I am strong. Maybe that's part of my ancestral powers, or maybe I'm just naturally that way and never had the chance to try it out. Either way, I'm glad it worked.
Watch this!
I exclaim. The canyon trail is getting narrower by the minute. When we first got here, it was wide enough for Mac, Davery, and me to walk through side by side without even touching shoulders. Now it's only wide enough for Davery and me, and that might be a tight fit. I step forward just a little way down into the corridor. The wind still howls like it's full of ghosts, and when I look down into the darkness, Mac and the fake Mr. Yazzie are nowhere to be seen. I gulp nervously. What if something's happened to Mac? No, I can't think that way. This is going to work, and I'm going to rescue him. I thrust my branch into the opening and turn it horizontally so it's jammed between the two rock walls. The canyon rumbles, and the sides keep trying to move closer, but this time the branch stops them. The moaning wind picks up a notch, but my branch doesn't break.
It's working!
Davery exclaims. I turn to my best friend and mimic his voice.
Well, if you understood the science behind it, it's actually quite...
A groaning sound, like an animal in pain, comes from behind me.
Oh!
I whirl back around to see my stick bending and buckling as the canyon walls heave together again, refusing to just stop already.
Nizhoni?
Davy says worriedly.
I think you'd better move out of the way.
I take a big step back and then another, and we watch as my brilliant plan shatters under the pressure of the closing rock walls, and 100 splinters come flying right at us. That's the end of the chapter. Your readers for tonight have been
Steve?
Marcy, Nizhoni,
And Adina.
and Fiona. And of course, me, Tammy, your narrator. Tune in tomorrow night for another exciting chapter from Race to the Sun. Good night, Flagstaff.
Good night, Flagstaff.